Welcome to Loco, Gringo, Mexico, the place where we transform a tourist into a traveler, because you deserve to see more of the world than just what's in a guidebook. Each week, we talk with amazing locals who know the Riviera Maya and Yucatan like only a local can, and get them to share their tips and insights on the local scene, culture, and cuisine from a local's perspective. So, pour yourself a margarita, grab a comfy chair, and let's get the show going.
Hey, good morning. This is Kay at Loco Gringo. So glad you could join us today. I want to introduce you to Kristen Roehmer, who is originally from Arizona but has made her home here in Playa del Carmen. She's started many businesses here. She's a busy lady, a super mom, a great wife, and I'm glad she was able to find some time today to share her story with us. Good morning from the Riviera Maya, everybody. My name's Kay Walton, and I'm with Loco Gringo. I'm really happy to have you with us today, and I'm going to introduce you to my friend, Kristen Roehmer. Kristen is from Scottsdale, Arizona, and she's a transplant here in the Riviera Maya. Hi, Kristen. How are you?
Great. Thanks, Kay. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm fine. Hey, I really want to thank you. When we got together and had a beer at the Buena Vida recently, I really had a great time, and I just wanted to thank you. It was great. We don't see each other, so we laugh about it. We don't see each other often enough, and we only live about a half hour away.
We don't see each other often enough. It's amazing how small it can be here, and yet we just don't even run into each other.
Well, it's life in the hospitality industry, you know?
Yep. We're all working hard, trying to make the best of it, right?
I know. Well, hey, I don't think anybody's going to have sympathy for us because we live on the beach.
That's very true. Not complaining one bit. Very, very grateful to be here in paradise.
So, Kristen, why don't you, if you will, tell everybody, how did you wind up in Playa del Carmen, Mexico from Arizona? I mean, okay, so it's sandy and dry there, and it's sandy and humid here. But why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey and how you wound up here?
You bet. Absolutely. It's kind of a funny story. A very good friend of ours back in Arizona, we were all in the automotive industry. We had a Hummer business and a Hummer limousine business specifically. And a friend of ours ran adventure tours out into the desert with his Hummers. And we kind of knew each other, acquaintance friends. And he called us out of the blue one day and he said, "Can I please invite you to breakfast?" And we said, "Yeah, sure." So we met Randy for breakfast, and he said, "I just made a trip down to this place south of Cancun called Playa del Carmen. And I went there and I bought a condo. And I bought the condo with the intention that my parents were going to go 50-50 with me. But when I got home, they backed out. And you and your husband, Marcus, are either the only people that are smart enough or stupid enough to invest with me. And would you consider it?" And at the time, the real estate market here in Playa was just getting going. This was back in late 2003, early 2004. And it was just getting going. And we said, sure, we're interested. So the amount of money was fairly nominal for buying a piece of real estate. And sight unseen, we went 50% into this condo, which was a condo that was being built in Playa Car Phase 2. And today it kind of sits on the back side of where Sam's Club, where people see Sam's Club on the highway in Playa, on the back side of that. Well, that was kind of our introduction. And what had happened was we sold our companies in Arizona and just kind of had a break in our businesses and had finished up all of our projects. And we were kind of in this lull. And my husband, Marcus, and Randy were coming down here to Playa to research and check on the construction of this project. And what happened was they came back from a trip down to Playa, and I'll never forget it, actually. I don't know if you remember back in the day when Mamitas Beach was, quite kind of quiet, and
yes.
There wasn't quite so much techno music, and they had these beautiful, what we called playa beds, sitting out on the beach. Well, I came home to our driveway in Arizona on a nice warm spring day, and there's Randy and Marcus with 2x4s trying to create and build these beds. And they said, we just got back from Mexico and we have this great idea. We're going to build these beds and we're going to move to Mexico. What do you think? And I said, clearly there's a little too much cerveza involved in this project, and maybe we need to think about this a little bit. But it was a great idea. They had come down to check on the condo, and they decided that because we had a break in our businesses, that why not, instead of going down to Playa and visiting there, let's take a year off and move to Playa and just have some fun and learn Spanish and relax and sit on the beach. And so this funny conversation about playa beds went nowhere once they realized that they built it out of 2x4s and they couldn't even move it out of the driveway. But the idea of moving to Mexico stayed real. So what we did was we packed up our things, our personal belongings. We kept our house in Arizona. We loaded up a truck and we loaded up a trailer, and Marcus and Randy and another dear friend of ours, his name is Brother, they all jumped in the truck and drove from Scottsdale, Arizona to Mexico. And, just to kind of give you the story a little bit, had anyone been paying attention, we really should have listened to the signs and should have turned back, because they didn't make it out of Scottsdale before the truck that they were driving was weaving all over the highway, and they couldn't drive more than 45 miles an hour, and ended up buying a brand new truck by the time they got to Austin, Texas, only to then cross the border and pay the security guard at the hotel a couple extra bucks to watch the trailer, which then once they got to the next checkpoint driving through Mexico and customs wanted to inspect the goods, they opened the trailer to inspect what we were declaring, bringing in from Arizona to Mexico, which was basically some dive gear, some clothes, a few computers, an ATV, a few things that we thought it was so important to have moving down to Mexico. And they opened up the trailer, and the only thing that was in there was the ATV. So everything had been robbed from the trailer.
Oh no! Oh my gosh!
While it had been parked that night, just across the border into Mexico. Now, mind you, Marcus and Randy did not speak a word of Spanish. They did not know what they were in for. Their GPS system, mapping systems that they thought were so wonderful and high technology were helping them not one bit on this road trip. And the infamous Brother was supposed to be fluent in Spanish, and he didn't know the true difference between yellow and lleno when they went to the gas station. So the gas attendants would then look at these guys. You want to have ice in your gas tank? Because yellow and lleno are the words for ice and fill it up in Spanish. And so it was a real comedy of errors getting here. And
no, they didn't. Did they put ice in his gas tank?
Thankfully, they didn't put ice in the gas tank. They did get gas, but they managed to make it down here. But it was a very difficult trip. It was just, they had one problem after another and one issue. But we were set on coming to Mexico and living by the beach for a year and learning Spanish. So we just kind of persisted through all these hiccups and problems. And by the time they got here, this was about August of 2005. When they landed in Playa del Carmen, they just really, it went smoothly. I flew in and we brought our two big Rottweiler dogs, and we all rented this great house on the beach in phase 1 in Playa del Carmen. And we started this journey. And the truth is that we are not very sit still good at sitting still. And so after about 2 or 3 weeks of going to the beach and having a continual happy hour, we just all started getting a little antsy. And so we started our Spanish classes, and we got a little bit better at our Spanish, and we had met a few people that were really welcoming and embracing and helped us out quite a bit. And then, we kind of said, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to keep ourselves busy? And we didn't really have any master plan in mind, but it just kind of evolved, one thing after another. And what happened was, because we had bought this first original condo, we met the developers, and then my husband, kind of with a big finance background and an international business background, he worked with these guys, and we would actually buy blocks of the buildings, and then we would resell them to people that were interested in buying real estate in Mexico. And remember, back in 2004, 5, 6, there was quite a bit of interest in people investing in real estate. It was before kind of the crash and all of that. And so people had cash, and they were coming down here, and they wanted to buy property. And so it worked out really well. And we had some clients from our businesses back in Arizona and the States and California, and they started investing in these properties here. And we were kind of the liaison, if you will, or the broker in between. And one thing kind of led to another. And before you knew it, then we had the people turning to us and saying, well, what do we do with these condos now that we own them? And I said, well, I'm happy to take care of it for you. I'll be here for a year. And so from there, I kind of ended up with 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 properties to manage. And then before you knew it, we were hiring people and starting and creating a business. And we never made a really good plan to move because we just really fell in love with Mexico, the lifestyle, Playa del Carmen, the Riviera Maya, and we never made a good exit plan. So we still to this day have our house in Arizona because we never intended to be here for 11 years, but little by little, we just dug our heels in more and made this home. So,
wow, that's great. And property management, I don't think people really realize that property management, especially I think in the tropics, because we have salt air and everything. Property management is not an easy job.
No, I was a complete fool. I mean, if somebody had told me what I was in for, I would have gotten my wits about me and decided to do something completely different and more fun. But everything rusts and everything calcifies from the minerals in our water system here. And it's, a lot of broken toilets in the middle of the night. But the truth is we have great owners and great clients that we've worked with for all these years. And it has been a lot of fun. I've stood up on top of rooftops cleaning tinacos, which are those big black things that sit on top of a building holding water. And I've cleaned cisterns and toilets and mopped up more floors than I care to think about. And it's been a great ride. I mean, we've definitely enjoyed it and loved it. We have a great team of people now that we've built around this. And it's all in all, it's been a lot of fun.
Now, I was just at your spa opening a couple months ago. How did the Brick Hotel come about? You went from property management, and now you have a hotel. How did you get into now having a hotel?
Well, again, things just kind of evolved organically and naturally for us. We were very, very fortunate. Very dear friends of ours, actually our son's godparents, they owned the hotel, and they would live here 6 months out of the year and go back to Germany 6 months out of the year. And the people that they had with the hotel management contract previously just kind of decided one day that they were done. And that was back in 2009, off the top of my head. And so our friend said to us, hey, you guys are the only people that we trust to run the property. Will you please do this for us? And we said, great, we'd be happy to. So it was a super transition for us because we were able to put our offices in the hotel. We were able to do all of our guest arrivals at the hotel, have meetings with owners at the hotel. It's just a small, quaint boutique property on 28th Street between 5th and 10th. So the location was fantastic. It was right nearby all of our properties that we manage. And there's just 15 rooms. We include breakfast. It's old playa style palapas and beautiful gardens. It's not the new build of glass and stainless steel. So it has this really charming feel to it. And then it just went really well. We had a lot of fun with it. We have great relationships and great memories and stories. We've had weddings there. We've had graduation parties there. We've had retirement parties of a lot of our clients and friends. Just last weekend, for example, some clients that have stayed with us for years had their 50th wedding anniversary there. Their big party with all their family and friends in town. So it's a great little spot. And then last year, in May, we decided that we needed a bit more office space. So we actually took proper office space and moved our accounting and sales and reservations and all that to down to 38th Street. And then what we did was convert where our offices had been to a nice little organic spa. And we found a gal, Jacqueline, and we hired her to be our general manager of the spa. And she does everything in-house, all organic. She's got some great therapists in there. We do facials and massage and manicures and pedicures. And she's really made it a very, very, very comfortable, sweet spot where not only locals can go, because I found that my girlfriends and I just didn't have a place to go to enjoy a nice, relaxing couple of hours in the day. Not that we get that much free time to do relaxing spa time, as you know, Kay.
Yeah, I know.
The last time you made it there. But we just didn't have a good spot to refer people to if they wanted to be outside of the all-inclusives. And so I wanted there to be a place where people could go and get a massage and sit by the pool and have lunch. And so we created it, and we opened the spa in November of this year, and it's been a great, great success, and everyone's loved it. The feedback from people has just been absolutely fantastic, and so it's going really well.
No, it was beautiful. I love the tour, and yes, I don't get to the spa much. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about your properties that I always love is that because you were here for back in the day, back when before there's a lot of development, is that some of the flavor and color that we all love and many people love about Playa del Carmen has I guess grown up. So yeah, we have stainless steel in that. And, rave music and all, but your hotel, the spa, and your properties, it reflects a bit of the history and the culture of the things that we love most about Playa del Carmen.
Yeah, I mean, we really try in all of our businesses here now. I mean, we have the property management and rental side of the business. We have the hotel, and we have the real estate division as well. And we just opened up that office on First Avenue across from the new Hyatt. But in all of our businesses, we really try to respect the Mexican tradition and culture and be true and authentic to the people that this is their original place and home. And we've been here for a long time, and the people of this area we find to be extremely kind and warm and welcoming, and we just really try to bring that into our businesses. For example, we just redid all of our brick team uniforms, and we had printed down the front of their uniforms in Mayan a short phrase that's kind of our tagline in English: experience excellence. And we just really wanted to reflect that bit of history and embrace their culture and remind ourselves every day how important and grateful we are that they're sharing this place of theirs with us. So the hotel is still kind of the old playa style, and a lot of what we bring into the workplace is that traditional older playa feel, I guess is the best way to put it.
No, I think it's great because I mean we all moved here for the environment, for the culture, for the people, and as the area's grown up, some of that's gotten lost as these bigger hotels and all inclusives and everything. As those types of corporations move down here to develop, is that sometimes the culture and the environment and the magic of what we all see gets lost in their corporate plan.
Yeah, and that's why we just, growth and development are inevitable, and it happens, especially in a place this beautiful and a place as magical as this. It's inevitable that more and more people want to be here, and corporate and growth are going to come in. But we just try to keep in the back of our minds that the magic of Playa, and it's important to remember a little bit of the magic of why we're all here.
Yeah, and I think the magic is here. You just have to look at it a little bit differently, but the magic certainly. I mean, we're all still here. We haven't left. So let me ask you. You even have you had your son. Now, did you have your son here in Mexico, or did you go to the States to have your baby?
No, we kind of looked around and we said, they've got this having babies thing down pretty good here. So we're completely comfortable with having a child here in Mexico. That's no problem. And we had a great doctor in Cancun. Our son was born, he's going to be 8. So a few years ago, and the hospital facilities have certainly grown here in Playa since then. But 8 years ago, they were a little more limited. So we had our doctor and the hospital in Cancun, and I have to say we had a fantastic experience from beginning to end. We just couldn't have been happier with the service we received and the care that we received. And my husband kind of laughs and makes jokes that in the hospital he had red wine and filet and a brand new baby in his arms. It couldn't have been any better. And so we did. We had our son here and totally comfortable. We've had him enrolled in local schools. We've actually tried a couple of schools, as all parents go through anywhere in the world. You're always wanting the best. And we've landed on a little local school that's just around the corner from our house now, that opened a couple of years ago, that he attends. And we ride bikes to school, and he couldn't be happier.
So, Kristen, you raised your son here, and that now, are there any? Let me ask you this: do you travel with your son? I mean, do you guys go out as a family? Do you travel a lot here in Mexico, or do you pretty much just stay here in the Riviera Maya?
The truth, Kate, is we would love to travel a little bit more in Mexico. However, we're pretty entrenched with our business, and so our travel time is limited, and especially with the child in grade school, we're kind of bound by the school schedules as well. And so when we do have the opportunity to travel, we tend to go back and see family and friends, and usually head back to the States. There are many places in Mexico that we would just love to go and spend a bit more time, but I think that's going to be on the back burner for now. But we do a fair bit of little weekends away where we'll head down to Akumal, or we'll do a little camping trip somewhere in the Sincan biosphere. We've done that a few times. We've gone out to Pascoba and Punta Laguna, and just done a few little trips like that to Holbox. Locally, we love to go there. That's kind of a new favorite of ours, where we can just get away in quick, short trips for a long weekend or something like that.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of really cool places to go on quick trips or just even a day trip. It's easy to get away and discover new things, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much beauty and so many really, really cool things to do. In fact, ironically, Marcus and Randy are out today experiencing and seeing a couple of cenotes that they've never been to, and just, really taking advantage of some of the great opportunities and experiences and adventures that we have nearby. Okay, so let me ask you this. Do you have any little secret spots that you're willing to turn me on to, places that you either go, just you and Marcus, or a family trip, any gems? I mean, Akumal, I'm not downplaying Akumal, I'm sitting here, but
Any little tidbits you want to throw out there that people should definitely put on their bucket list if they're coming down here, if they want to just get away from the mainstream activities and sites?
Yeah, I have a couple, but I'm a little leery to share because I don't want them to be.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I will. There are a couple. Yeah, obviously, Holbox is a great spot. It's what I would say Playa must have been. I don't know for sure, but must have been 25 years ago. And as you know, that's just a quick hour and a half drive from Playa, and then a quick ferry boat across to this little island where the wildlife is spectacular. There are no cars. It's all still dirt roads and little tiny hotels and great restaurants and super friendly people. And that's definitely one of our favorite getaways. You have the whale sharks that are there during May to September, and that's a huge adventure for people to partake in and respectfully learn about nature in a different way. So Holbox is definitely one of our favorites. We have a couple other things just for day trips that we love to do. When we have family or friends visiting in town, we love to do yoga. And we have a friend that does yoga on paddle boards down in the lagoon in the Siancon, which is south of Tulum. And Nancy with Boga Yoga, if you've ever done yoga in a studio and have any affection for that, it's a great experience. But once you get yourself out in nature and stand on a paddleboard on some calm, still water, surrounded by mangroves and bright blue sky, it's just a whole nother experience. And it's absolutely one of my favorite things. And my son will do the yoga standing on the end of the board with me. So that's kind of cool. And it's just it's a fun experience. So yoga in a studio can be kind of serious and very meditative. And when you're out in nature, it can also be serious and meditative, but it can also be kind of fun and lighthearted, because when you fall off your board into the water, splashing around.
I was just going to ask you, how much balance does that take? I mean, I love yoga. Go to the studio here in Acoma. I hit one in Tulum every now and again, but I see it out on paddle boards. I mean, do you have to have a good sense of balance, or is it, just plan on falling into the drink at some point?
Yeah, you're falling in. I mean, there's no question about it. You're going in, like it or not. So wear shorts, maybe not the bikini, and yeah, it's just a great time. And if you love yoga and you love nature, it's a great combination of a different way to do it. For me, you have to have good balance, yes, but like I said, I mean, I'm not a yoga aficionado by any means, and my son will be on the end of the board and doing it with me. And so it's great. It's a fun way to do it. And my husband enjoys it. And he's not huge into yoga either, but it's a cool day to spend out there. So that's one thing that we would definitely recommend for people that want to get off the beaten path and off the tourist grid, if you will. And then I have another favorite that not a lot of people know about, but it's absolutely magical. And if you drive about 15 minutes south of Tulum on the highway to Chamuyil, there's kind of a bus stop area. And if you keep going, you'll see a little convenience store shack on the left side of the road. And if you turn there towards the ocean, you drive down a dirt path, and you can see some of the barely recognizable wall ruins of the Mayan culture. And you get to the end of the road, and it's a lagoon. And there's a guy there that has probably half a dozen different lanchas or little boats. And he will take you on a tour of the Siancon Biosphere Lagoon. by boat. So I can't remember exactly what the fee is. I think it's about 300 pesos because it is the protected reserve. So you have to pay the entrance fee for that. And he takes you on the boat and you see the most amazing wildlife and this beautiful freshwater lagoon. And then they take you to the old aduana, or the old customs of the Mayan culture, gazillions of years ago. I don't remember exactly what year, so I won't embarrass myself. And they get you out of the boat, and you stand up on the dock and you walk just a short distance to this little customs building and see what it was like, what the ruins were like along this waterway. And then after you've gotten your cultural check mark, as I say, they give you a life jacket, and you put the life jacket on kind of like a diaper, and you float down this river through the mangroves, and on either side of you are wild orchids growing and beautiful, beautiful mangroves, foliage, complete serenity, complete quiet, complete peace. And you just float along this river without much struggle or hassle. You don't have to be a good swimmer. You don't have to be athletic. I think we took our son at 2 years old, to be honest.
You know, it's a great tour. I just went on that tour a few weeks ago with some friends who came to visit. And when friends come, it is the place I take them. The price has gone up a little bit, and one of the things that I have found is that to go to the dock and talk to the guys at the dock and pay them there, or we work with someone from the co-op, the tourism co-op of the Muil area. They'll take people out for a lot less. I've seen tour groups now who sell a tour like that. And then when I say tour groups, it's not buses of people, but more organized, formal tours that are going to be $120 and things. So there are opportunities to go there. Yeah, now the secret isn't totally out, but there are some groups out there charging top dollar. So, we encourage people to either go directly. So, Pauline, our concierge, can get people in there. The guys are great. We've gone out with them for years. And the other thing I would say to add on to that tour, and if you do it again, is tell them you want to go to Bird Island. And it's about, the whole day trip with them is about 4.5, 5 hours. And they'll take you, we took the boat all the way out to the Boca Pila Bridge, went out underneath the bridge and beached the boat and walked around that beach, which is, not developed, absolutely stunning. And then got back on the boat, traveled a little further south to Bird Island, where we went just around this little mangrove island, tons of birds. Oh, we saw some manatee too. But the Bird Island was great. There's the boat build something or other. You can tell I'm not an ornithologist. But there's the boat build heron and a bunch of other birds there that were just really rare birds that are, if you're into nature and birding, it's awesome. And it's a nice little tack on to just tell the guys you want to go out to Bird Island. So I highly recommend it. Well, Kristen, let me ask you this. There's people who may want to buy a piece of paradise or have you take care of their piece of paradise or come and get a massage, stay at the hotel. Where can people find you, Kristen?
Our website is brickrental.com, BRIC, and brickrental.com, and that has a link to our real estate side, which is Brick International, and all of our properties that are for sale and available if people want to buy into a piece of paradise, and Brick Hotel, BRIChotel.com. So all of those they tie in together. They can get to one another from any of those sites, and that's kind of the easiest way to reach us. We have offices. And
you are on Facebook too?
We are on Facebook. Yep, we are on Facebook, Brick International, and you can find us on Facebook and see what we do. A lot of postings and a lot of writing and updating people on what's going on around Playa. So you can definitely find us there.
Cool. And you were going to mention, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. In your offices, where can people find your office if they're going to be in the Playa area?
Well, the best way to find us is at the Brick Hotel, which I kind of mentioned, on 28th Street, just between 5th Avenue and 10th Avenue. And our receptionist, Abril, there at the hotel, she can guide you from there to our real estate office, which is on 1st Avenue between 28th Street and 24th Street. And then our offices are down on 38th Street. So we have 3 little locations. You kind of can't miss us. If you're walking anywhere between the beach and Fifth Avenue, you're going to find us.
Excellent. Well, Kristen, thanks so much for chatting with me today, and give Marcus my best. And we will. I love hearing the story. I didn't know you had a Hummer business in the States. That's really. I mean, it's been great. And the one nice thing that these conversations have given me the honor of having is I get to talk to people and I hear more stories, things I didn't know. We've known each other for a ton of years. I didn't know you guys had a Hummer limousine business, and there's a lot of other people here. There's a lot of great stories and a lot of interesting people here in the Riviera Maya, and I just thank you for the opportunity to get to talk to you this morning.
No, thank you, Kay. I really appreciate the opportunity to see you and get to know you a little bit better as well and share our story. And if it helps people in their decision either to come for a visit or to consider retiring here or living here for a bit or bringing their children here to be here for a period of time, I highly recommend it because it is a beautiful, beautiful, magical place, and there's so much positive that this area has offered all of us. So I'm happy to share. Thanks for inviting me.
Great. Well, you have a wonderful day.
Thanks. You too, Kay. Talk to you soon.
A big thanks to Kristen for her time today, and a big thanks to all of you for listening. Until next week, hasta la vista.
Thanks for listening. If you like the show, be sure to subscribe. For links, show notes, and more information, head on over to locogringo.com or give us a call toll-free at 800-478-0081.
Porque se tragó la luna, estaba enferma la rana. Su madre soba que soba, dedos de pluma la panza. Pensó ranita que luna era una toronja blanca. Y aunque la luna es de leche, la leche estaba cortada. Croa, croa, dedos de pluma. Croa, croa, dedos de agua.